Got no ambition.
She looks at you as a bum. She's reviled. She is disgusting. What does your wife really think about you? What you have to realize is that a woman will not marry a guy who she is not attracted to. Part of that attraction means looking up to him, looking at this man. You are fit to be my leader. I am ready to obey this man.
What does your wife really think about you when you put her before your mum?
She thinks you're her kutta. Yeah. She thinks you're her
Oh, you're a mummy's boy.
I'm what? I'm mummy's boy. I'm what? I will smoke anyone that gets in the way of my mum. Men don't really care much for hygiene, man. Pile the plates in the sink. My man not shower for a couple of days. Now imagine you're coming to your wife. You've come home with the world in your breath.
For example,
and you want to kiss her.
Bro, brush your teeth.
Sicker brother that I know. I went to his room, then I vomited. I puked orange stuff. My puke was cleaner than his room. Man had bones of food next to his pillow. Sit him down, yeah. I said, Akhi, this is an issue. But he was so genuine. It's like, it's not that bad. I'm pretty clean. I had to look at him and just say, Akhi, you're disgusting. Hopefully you got a message. It's something that you're not realizing, man. If you've got a dad who's like a dad,
A father.
like, this is my house, and you bring your wife to that house, she sees you being bossed around. My husband's not the man. Do you understand? That's not the man.
The spirit of a man is in the courage. I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna hunt.
Yeah, that you have to have that.
You tell people you're going to do something and then you don't do it. Your word doesn't mean anything to them. I can do whatever I want with this guy.
A man doesn't marry a woman for her looks, and a woman doesn't marry a man for his money. But you can't say it doesn't help.
For 10 years, I've held back sharing my true self with you guys. It's now that I've realized that that wasn't something that was good to do. But now I've decided to open up a lot more and share with you my real life, raw experiences. I'm going to be sharing insights with you with regards to my marriage, with regards to my businesses, my seeking knowledge, my friendships, my ups and downs, smiles and frowns, the betrayals that I've seen, what life in Dubai is like. I have just one request from you. If this is something that you'd like to see more of, click the subscribe button. The way that we will measure whether this is something that you guys want and are benefiting from is if that subscribe button is clicked and those numbers go up. If not, then we know that you guys want something else and we'll redirect and change course. So click that subscribe button. With that said, let's get back into the podcast and hopefully you guys are going to get some value, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My brothers and sisters, welcome back to another episode of Chai with my Bhai, where we help you excel in your deen and your dunya. Today, I woke up to a litany of messages on my phone in the Chai with my Bhai group. And an iMessage from Imran telling me to check the group. So I clicked on the group and I saw so many questions, all starting with, what would your wife think of you if?
What does your wife really think of you if?
What does your wife really think of you if XYZ, if XYZ, if XYZ? And this was the topic for today. So I asked, what's the context? How can we turn to this episode? And Abbas, very acutely observed, he's mentioned that in the previous episode.
What's with the vocab?
Benefit one.
Literally, acutely. They don't understand.
That's what it's vocab thing, come on.
If you didn't understand what litany meant, click the like button.
Google it. No, don't Google it because then you're not going to come back. don't Google it. And you observed acutely, I don't know if that's the right context, that you mentioned it in the last podcast, said that we'll do a topic on this. So here we are. So the first question.
You meant astutely. Sorry.
First question is, why are we doing this topic in the first place? I know you said it on the podcast, but why is it important?
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah ma ba'd.
And is this for brothers or is it for sisters?
So this is for brothers.
It's for the brothers.
This is for brothers, yeah. It's to give them a wake up call. Look, brothers get complacent with regards to certain deficiencies that become normalized inside of their relationship, right? A person will reach a certain a certain deficiency will become a baseline in terms of his marriage. For example, his hygiene. And his wife will just habituate towards it. She will stop mentioning it if, for whatever reason, and it will become something normalized. But deep down, she's repulsed by you. But the man doesn't understand that his wife is actually sickened by him. And women hold these things. They hold them. They have these observations that they have. They hold on to them. They think about them. And then they compare you to others. And a lot of the times, a lot of problems in your relationship occur because of these things that you're doing and your perception in front of this woman has changed. Look, a woman doesn't marry a guy, generally speaking. And by the way, I want to mention there's going to be a whole lot of generalizations in this episode. So there are obviously exceptions to the rule.
And it seems like it's more so to do with experience and anecdotes and things like that rather than like Quran and Sunnah.
No, there's going to be a lot of anecdotal experience. Yeah. Like you have to understand, but when I give you anecdotal experience, I'm saying 10 years of marriage counseling, 10 years of dealing with the relationships of people. Like, I have a pretty good understanding, right? And of course, we're going to...
It's common sense.
Yeah, and absolutely. And we are going to refer to the Quran and Sunnah. regularly, inshallah ta'ala, as well.
Inshallah.
But the point that I'm trying to make here is that there are certain characteristics that you might have adopted, that you might have become accustomed to, that will cause your wife to lose attraction in you. What you have to realize is that, generally speaking, a woman will not marry a guy who she is not attracted to. And part of that attraction means looking up to him, looking at this man as, you are fit to be my leader. Like, remember, a woman marries a man thinking, I'm going to submit to him. Like, I'm ready to obey this man. Generally, she should be, right? That's the ideal. That's the Islamic ideal. So she's like coming to submit to this man. Now, you are going to struggle to obey and submit to someone who you don't respect, who's dropped in your eyes. So what happens is that the perception before marriage is one thing, because we always present ourselves with our best t-shirt, right? In the marriage meeting, our best selves, right?
Marriage CVs.
But afterwards, it's like, oh snap, you stink. Like, bro, what's going on here? It's like, bro, you don't keep your promises. Like, what's going on here? And you will find, not all the time, but a lot of the times, women will just be silent observers. Their perception will change. Then their actions towards you will change. And ultimately, what that will result in is a lack of attraction. And that could lead to a whole bunch of other things.
Should we go through them one by one?
Yeah. And the specific one that maybe we can start off with because this was the one that we mentioned on the benefits podcast. You know, brothers who take welfare and benefits. The point that I mentioned was, what does your wife really think about you? She can see that you are a fit, healthy man who's taking benefits when you could be out there grinding. Like, what does she think of you?
And important to know is choosing to.
Yeah, choosing to. Yeah.
Choosing to.
We're not talking about people who are sick or their circumstances don't permit them to work or whatever have you. We're talking about a guy who's a young man, healthy, fit, able, but he's like, we're just gonna cheat the system. Yeah. Do you understand? What does that man's wife really think about him, Abbas?
He's got no ambition. I often say this to brothers, when they have like, when they're like coming up. So let's say you're at uni, or you know you're in between jobs, or like you're in a transient. You know, like when you're working in the pathway that's not your dream career. Like let's say you want to be a lawyer or whatever, but between now and then you're training, you're working somewhere else. Girls may like you because you have ambition. That's usually it's like an appeal to something greater. Like, I'm gonna be something big in the future, right? If you have that, it definitely helps. I mean, women don't marry you for your ambition, but it's not like, you know, like I'm reminded of that ad where Marilyn Monroe says to the guy that a man doesn't marry a woman for her looks, and a woman doesn't marry a man for his money, but you can't say it doesn't help, right? It's the same story. So if you take benefits, you lean on the state, your wife's gonna look at you like, have you got no goals, no dreams? That's definitely a big attraction killer, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not 100% certain, but I believe.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, without a shadow of doubt, it is. So, I think also she looks at you as a bum. Yeah, my husband is a bum.
By that you mean let's stick with like sort of clearer sort of adjectives. You mean like he's lazy? That's what you mean. He's
lazy. He's a freeloader. He's a beg. He's a leech. He's a cheat. He's cheating the system. He's a
that's a big one. That's actually a really good point. Yeah. I actually think that we never mentioned that in the previous podcast, but I think that's important to mention, right? Which is that it definitely speaks to your integrity.
She's also embarrassed by you.
Yeah, I mean, she can't say out loud what her husband
She's embarrassed. She's humiliated.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I want to stick on this integrity part, right? It's really important. You know, people often say you shouldn't be friends with people who backbite about others to you, because they'll backbite about you to others, right? It's kind of what you're doing there is you're hinting at the person's integrity. You're basically saying that the person doesn't really have many morals. They don't have any sort of code that they stick by, right? And I'm saying it's the same story with benefits. You're as Abu Bakr mentioned on the previous podcast, you're a young, able-bodied, sound-minded man, and you're coming home like, yeah, we just corrupted the system, just go around it again. What did somebody say? We coalesced them. I don't think that's going to inspire her to be like, oh yeah, you know, my husband, he's really hardworking. I'm really proud of him. I'm get to go home to my parents and be like, look what my husband did. And I don't think it's going to inspire that response.
And we mentioned this disclaimer in the previous episode as well, which is that if as a wife, your husband is genuinely, you can see him working towards something, and he's trying, and he's got to be patient with him. That's not blameworthy, right? He's actually trying. We're here talking about someone who's like, I want to sit at home and play video games. I'm getting my job seekers allowance coming in, and I don't want to get out of this. I enjoy this, my freedom, my time. And they might twist it. They might twist it and turn it to make it sound whatever. Oh yeah, but you know, it's better that money comes to me than it gets used for this or for that or for this or for that. Like whatever way they're gonna twist it, that's peak. But someone's actually, you know what, I despise this, but right now, this is the situation. Qadrullah ma sha fa'al, I'm trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
I respect that.
The spirit of a man is in the courage, the you know, I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna hunt.
Yeah, that you have to have that.
Yeah.
You have to, can't lose that.
What are your thoughts?
That's like the edge. Can't lose the edge there.
I have nothing really more to say. Yeah. Sorry.
Let's move to the next one.
One of the ones that you mentioned was hygiene. You mentioned that at the beginning. Why is that a problem? We recently had a few instances where hygiene was a big problem.
Wait, what?
With certain brothers.
Yeah. No, hygiene is a big issue, man. Like, look, generally speaking, men don't really care much for hygiene, right? Like, we could just, whatever, pile the plates in the sink. It's not an issue. I might not shower for a couple of days, whatever have you, right? But that's fine if it's just you, right? It's still not fine, but my point is that it can be fine. We can tolerate if it's just you, because you have to put up with your own smell, you have to put up with your own mess, your own unwashed dishes or whatever have you, right? But now you're married, and smell is something that's so important. It's so important that Salatul Jama'ah, which in some like congregational prayer in the masjid, according to some schools of thought, the Hanbali school of thought, is obligatory, and there's a very strong case for it being obligatory, right? Or very highly recommended for men, yeah. But the Prophet ﷺ said, if you have eaten foods that cause your breath to smell, then don't come to the masjid. To the point where in the Shafi'i madhab, they mentioned any time where there is a congregational gathering for religious prayer, could be Taraweeh, could be Eid Salah, right? Jummah, the person should do a ghusl. Jummah, there's actually dalil for it. But they say reason why is because your smell will harm people, right? Now and it's true, bro. Wallahi, sometimes I go in the masjid and I'm like, bro, could have took a Tic Tac before you came in, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's times where I'm walking to the masjid and I won't realize I might have eaten like cheese and onion crisps. I will buy a chewing gum to clean my breath, akhi, before I go into the masjid. Or you don't harm the people. Now imagine you're coming to your wife. You've come home with the world in your breath.
And it's natural because you've been out all day working, especially if you're working in the heat, for example.
And you want to kiss her. You want to make money, brother. Put money to the side. I know that doesn't really motivate you. You want to get closer to Allah. That's what we all want. But the reason I started with money is because sometimes money gets in the way of you getting closer to Allah. But what if there was a way for you to get closer to Allah and make money? Well, doesn't that sound a bit off, Imran? That sounds like immoral and wrong. But what if it wasn't? What if we actually had evidence from the Quran that there was a particular thing that you could do to get close to Allah and make money and not have to feel guilty about it? Well, then sign me up, brother Imran. Guys, what I'm talking about is setting up an Umrah company. Setting up an Umrah company is something that definitely gets you close to Allah because you're going to the Kaaba regularly, you're worshipping Allah in Mecca, Medina. Not only that, you're getting rewarded for taking people who are going to be changing their lives in Mecca, Medina, and you can make money from it. And you can make very good money. You can work your way up to multiple six figures in a year if you work hard enough. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you you're going to make six figures on your first trip. No, but you definitely can. We've got companies after 1 or 2 years already on six-figure status. Alhamdulillah, we in our last year of our last 3 Umrah trips that we did made over $500,000 ourselves. Now, this is an opportunity that we're passing on to you guys, inshallah ta'ala. And like I said, Allah says in the Quran, لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ أَن تَبْتَغُوا فَضْلًا مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. There is, when you go to Hajj, there's no harm upon you. Then when you go to Hajj, you also seek to make some type of profit. I asked some of the Mashaykh, does this also apply to Umrah? They said it does. You make sure you're not charging people for the Umrah itself, but what you're doing is you're charging them for the service that you're providing, all of the back-end stuff that you're doing to be able to take them. So look, if you're interested in a business like this, click the link below, inshallah ta'ala, and hopefully we can get it cracking. Assalamu alaikum, peace.
Yeah.
You want to what? You want to kiss her, you want to embrace her, and you're not fresh. And you, akhi, let's come to Quran and Sunnah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he'd come into his house, what was the first thing he would do after he said salam to his family? We do siwak. Prophet would clean his teeth. Because your breath might have changed. There might have been something that happened, right? So yeah, man, like be fresh. Like, and women especially are very sensitive to scents, right? So there was a brother that I used to know. Him and his wife ended up getting a divorce, right? Because bro, every day he woke up in the morning with his morning breath, he just wanted to kiss her, right?
That's the reason for divorce.
That was one of the things that he was very into that. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things that was brought up, to me in the session was, you really just like in the morning, he just wants to, with the morning breath. And
how do you maintain composure when someone says something like that to you? That's a very serious situation. It's like a marriage.
Yeah,
He doesn't look at them. He doesn't look at the husband or the wife. He looks at the table and he waits for the feeling to go past.
Yeah, I maintain the composure. No, because in the moment I'm hit with, like when the wife mentions that, I'm just hit with. Like, it's not even funny. Like, I'm just like in pain for the brother. Because I get his perspective. Like, Akhi, look, let's empathize with the guy. Bro, you're married. You waited so many years. You just want to kiss your wife, right? Right?
Yeah,
but you smell now.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Just have a tic tac. Like in those
brush your teeth. What do you mean have a tic tac?
I understand, but I'm saying
on the bedside table.
I'm saying in the morning, if you want to kiss her straight away, yeah, brush your teeth, of course. But let's say you want to kiss, at least slap a tic tac.
No, bro, brush your teeth
in bed.
Look, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth.
I know, but I'm saying let's just say I'm empathizing with the brother. You really wanted to roll over and just kiss her, right?
Calm.
Just slap a tic tac in your mouth.
Okay, I've got another question before we move on to the next points.
So what does she think about you? She's reviled.
Revolted.
She's reviled by you. She is disgusted.
So I've got another question now.
She sees you as diabolical.
I've got another question now. Let's come to solutions.
Look, 1 second. No, solutions. There's deodorant. There's a thing called deodorant. Okay.
Antiperspirant.
There's a thing called perfume. There's a thing called shower. By the way, brothers, look. There's a thing called
No.
Somebody don't shower, boy. Listen, brothers, there's a thing
but
called.
But no showers exist.
1 second. There's a thing called a loofah. Look, sometimes.
Bro, wallahi, I realize people don't know.
It's life changing.
Like,
Chat to them.
Bro, there was one brother I was talking to, and he kept saying, he goes, I don't know what it is, I always stink. And I said, look, just generally, like when you shower, like, do you use a scrub, right? He goes, what's that? He goes, you're not seeing in those like sponge things and he goes, well, like, is that you're supposed to use it?
Yeah. You're supposed to use it.
I've got two questions.
I said, bro, you get.
I thought it was two questions. I thought that's for women.
Let me finish.
No, because you get dead skin.
ADHD's acting up. Let me finish.
Well, like, I was shocked. He had a shower. He goes, I'm lost in now. The smell's lost.
So I've got two questions. What leads to a grown man not having that basic
Bad house
knowledge?
training.
Yeah.
Where does bad house training come from?
Parents. You have to teach you how to shower. Yeah, you can't know that. You can't learn that.
Yeah. Parents.
Yeah, parents.
I mean, parents are the ones that clean the kids, right?
Have to teach.
So they have to do it.
And then when they stop doing that, it's because they trust you to do it, right? They have
Do it
to teach
yourself
you
now.
how to-
Question: if someone's watching this, whether it's a wife or even just a concerned friend, and they know that their friend or their husband has some of these things that we've already mentioned or that we're going to mention, what's the best way to actually advise a person without offending them, without angering them, without sending them?
It's like brothers don't get the message. Like this is one of those things.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't
but
tell
you-
them straight, they won't
Yeah,
understand.
the wife would say,
Yeah.
"Oh, honey, I love
found
when you
some
smell
fragrances I like
fresh.
online."
Oh, I like this fragrance." Man's there like,
Alright, cool. So what's the correct way to do it?
well, I just think, صراحة راحة, man. But with adab, be clear and direct, but be so well mannered and be so sensitive.
I would
Because
say there's two ways. There's two things to keep in mind. The first thing is when you tell him, it has to be like ripping off the band-aid. It has to be quick.
Yeah, quick,
And it
yeah.
has to be decisive as well. Like he knows, you know for sure. And then don't mention it again.
but nice.
And then if he knows now, now he's been brought to his attention.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring it up again, and don't use it against him in the future. Like
Yeah.
have some
Yeah,
mercy with
yeah.
the guy you told him about. That's it.
But also be nice. But can I just say one thing to you guys? I've mentioned to you guys and to the world. Me personally, if a day comes where I smell, tell me. Like that, I don't care if it hurts. Like I will suffer the pain and of the embarrassment.
Please don't tell me. It hurts so much
No.
if you say it. I would prefer it if someone took me to the side and said, yo, bro.
You don't have to
listen,
tell me in front of the people,
please,
but tell me.
know.
Like just say, yo,
What are we doing in front of people? We come on the podcast and say, by the way, your brother.
No, I'm saying I don't. For me, I don't. I don't ever want to be that guy where it's like, because I sometimes brothers in the masjid, I'm like, just tell me.
I think
Tell me.
That's a really good point actually, because most of the time there's a thing called nose blindness. After a while, you stop being able to smell.
It's called habituation. You habituate.
No, I'm not talking about your wife. I'm saying even you.
Yeah.
You may not even notice that you have a less than great odor.
Like for example, there was a particular brother.
sad,
There was a particular brother that I know, right? I went into his room. He's trying to get married right now, right? So I went into his room, and Akhi, this place was filthy. Like when
That's what I was talking about earlier.
huh?
So that's what I was referring to earlier.
Yeah. So like it was so filthy that I vomited, like orange gunk.
All right, bro.
I'm just trying to show. It wasn't like a little. I didn't retch. Like I puked orange stuff.
All right, bro.
Do you
In
understand?
the guy's room.
Yeah, bro. Because trust me. My
Is
puke
he
was
alive still?
Yeah.
Has he found a bridge?
My puke was cleaner than his room.
That's mad.
It was disgusting. Man had bones of food next to his pillow.
I think he had orange gone because that's in his room.
No, I did it.
He had puke in his room.
I went to the sink.
Okay.
I went to the sink.
Okay.
Like,
That's an important detail.
yeah, I went to the sink, obviously. But my point was that's how bad it was. Well, I sat with the brother down multiple times, spoke to him. After that day, I had to sit him down, yeah. I had to sit him down and say, Akhi, this is an issue. But he was so genuine. It's like, it's not that bad. I'm pretty clean. But I had to look at him and just give it to him and say, Akhi, you're disgusting. But hopefully you got a message.
I feel like
That is raw.
as you said,
That
innit?
is so
I feel
raw,
like
bro.
when you're
Come on,
unmarried,
man.
No, but I had to prepare him for.
actually that's not true because I
It's
know
big
brothers that
day.
are unmarried and they're actually very clean.
Yeah,
and tidy.
yeah.
But
Like
I
house
do
tra-
find
house
that
training,
married
house
brothers, you find generally speaking, they're more on point with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because they have to, innit? They got work now.
So the next thing, when you can't commit to things or you can't keep your commitments, so you say
You know, I call this, I love talking about this. It's called half measures. You should never give threats that you can't follow through on, right? So I don't know if she's going to watch this, but if she is, I'm sorry to bait you out, right? So my auntie, she's got twins, right? These two boys. They're very young. They're like 7, right? When they were at my house, they must have been like...
Are they twins?
Yeah, they're twins, yeah.
Allah
They don't look
Akbar.
like it, but they're twins, yeah.
I didn't even
They
know
don't
that.
look
Allah
like
Akbar.
So they obviously they're boys and they're the same age. So naturally, you can imagine they're very, very naughty. They're extremely naughty. I mean, I love them very much, but they're very naughty, right? Now, my auntie always used to give them half measure threats, like I'm gonna break your legs, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. If you don't, you're out, you know. And I used to tell her they don't believe you.
They don't believe
anymore.
that, yeah.
Do you get it?
Mushkila wala.
As in, they'll believe you the first time, and they'll be really terrified the first time. Then after they're like, wait, hold on, she didn't break my legs the first time. I don't think she's gonna break them this time. Whereas me,
Not that we're condoning breaking the legs of children.
they're my younger cousins, right? So when I deep the other day, I'm 20 years older than them. That's insane.
Oof, Allah Malik.
When I would tell them to do something, I would say, if you do this again, I'm gonna put you in the garden, and it's raining outside and it's dark.
I'm gonna what?
I'm gonna put you outside in the garden.
In the garden.
Right? It's dark and it's raining outside, right? And they'll do it, and I'll say, okay. And with a huge smile on my face, I'll take him. You're going outside, and he'll cry and he'll cry. My grandma, my auntie, even sometimes my mom, they'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'll be like, "No, he's going. I told him
Yes.
that he was going, and he's going." That's the end of the story.
RSPCA,
And
if you're watching this, he lives in Tottenham.
After that, they don't push it again because they know that when I tell him, it's not half measure. Do you understand? I'm not giving you empty
So
threats.
this is something.
I'll definitely follow through.
This is very profound what you're talking about. This is
Boundaries.
and I've come to really like the concept of boundaries, right? Establishing boundaries in a relationship is extremely important. So before I talk to you about the boundaries, I just want to give you guys a story to this. So when I was the day I got married, the day after I got married, my in-laws, they invited me for a little dinner, right? and my wife's cousin was there.
It's a little dinner, but everyone knows that dinner, the day after you're married, is a banquet.
When, like,
As in the food that they.
no, it was in a
prepare
restaurant.
and whatnot. Okay.
It was Molana. It was the
Little dinner.
Kubi Day.
You had a post-wedding banquet at Milano.
Oh, it wasn't a banquet, my G. It was just family went to eat. So anyway,
So I'm sorry. I was gonna go a step further than my
so anyway, so anyways, my wife's cousin came up to me and he said to me, "Listen, bro," he said, "make sure that you stick to certain things with your wife, and you."
Who said that to you?
My wife's cousin.
Your wife's cousin.
He said, "Make sure that when you."
Is he a guy?
Huh?
Is he a man?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh,
I'm free mix, anyway.
I don't know. Maybe you were
He
being
said-
polite. Sorry. Okay, sorry.
he said that when you establish certain protocols in the house, make sure you stick to it. And he gave me a beautiful example. He said, look, he mentioned the story of a brother, right? Who, when he got married, before he got married, he told his wife, this particular brother, he said, look, I have a circle, a Sunday circle that I attend every week in the morning, and it's a very important thing for me. And I want you as my wife to come to this circle. She agreed before marriage. They got married on like a Saturday, Sunday, first morning. So he said to her, look, it's our first day after we just got married. We'll go from next week. So he put it off.
So he initiated it.
He initiated it. The second week, the second Sunday came around and he's ready. He's waking his wife up. Okay, babe, let's go. And she looks back at him and says, oh, honey, I'm really tired. Can I go from next week? He said, okay, no worries, sure. New bride, don't want to put her on pressure. The third week came. Woke her up. Honey, let's go. She looked at me, she said, honey, truth be told, it's not really my thing. You go. Like, you know, and it starts off like, come back and you can teach it to me or whatever. And eventually there's nothing, right? She'll come with some waffle. I prefer to read a book. Or if you tell her to read a book, I prefer to watch a lecture. It ends up doing nothing, bruv. You understand? So he said, look, this is what happened to this brother. And he said, look, I'm sharing this with you as a lesson. He goes, when you say something, do it. Stick to it. Stick to the boundaries. Now, the issue here is that me personally, I struggle to understand the concept of boundaries in terms of my marriage, in terms of me being a parent, in terms of my relationships with parents, with friends. What is a boundary? And I found that I made the mistake that most people make, which is that they conflate boundaries and requests. I'll give you an example. If you tell someone, look, I don't want you to speak to me in that way, that's a request. But most people say, oh, it's a boundary. You've established the boundary, right? I don't want you to talk to me in this way. I don't want you to treat me in this way. That's a boundary, right? Or I want you to come with me here at this time on this day. That's not a boundary. That's a request. A boundary the boundary is not in the hands of the other person. The boundary is in your hands. So when you think about it, if this is my house and I build a boundary around it to protect my property, the boundary has nothing to do with the thief. I've just created a situation where the thief, no matter what he wants to do or doesn't want to do, he can't get in, right? So, in other words, if someone's talking to me in a certain way, and I say, look, Akhi, don't talk to me in that way, I don't respect it. I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate being spoken to in that way. I've requested. Now, if after that request he persists, the boundary is, I'm leaving. It's got nothing to do with you. It's not in your hands. It's in my hands. That is extremely powerful. It puts control and autonomy back in your hands when it comes to these conflict situations, right? And it's one of the best ways to create behavior or to condition the type of behavior that you want that person to have with you. So, for example, my kid is on the sofa. Babe, don't jump on the sofa. She smiles at me. What does she do?
Jumps on the sofa.
My daughter's tap like that.
Okay.
Like, you
No,
know.
all kids are like that.
Okay, cool. But like she takes it to levels.
Mm-hmm.
Like you tell her, don't break that. And she'll smile and say, don't break it. She'll talk to herself in third person, don't break it. And then she break it. Right? Mm-hmm. So the boundary is take her off the sofa. Mm-hmm. I've taken you off. She gets, I've taken you off. That's the boundary. You're not getting on the sofa. Okay, I'll lock the door to that room. You won't go in now. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Like you will, I've established the boundary. So likewise, when you're talking to your wife, you've committed to something. Like, this is going to be a particular way. The boundary is established in terms of your action. In terms of your action. Do you understand? Like, for example, I'm going to bed at 9 p.m. and she carries on talking to you. Go to bed. You're scared to hurt her feelings. Well, you're breaking down the boundary. And advantage is going to be taken off that. Do you understand? So boundaries need to be
you
established.
can't complain if after that all of this. So let's use the 9 p.m. example, right? If after that your schedule's destroyed and let's see the chain of events. Your schedule is destroyed. You're not waking up for work on time, and then you get fired from your job, and then your wife divorces you because you have no money, right? Can you see how this all started from the first boundary being broken? This is a chain of events.
And do you know what's funny?
Obviously, I'm being a bit. This is a bit of an exaggeration just to illustrate the point, but you get the idea, right? The negative externalities that come out of losing your boundary, it starts from you. You're the first person to let it off.
And when there is no boundaries, that woman, what does she think about you?
This guy's a pushover.
A pushover, spineless, right?
So boundaries, they're a form of commitment. And another form is like promises, right? And that's what I had understood from your thing initially.
The boundary one's a separate one, but they overlap.
But they overlap because
they overlap.
a boundary is a form of commitment, right? But this in terms of commitment is more so like, okay, cool. Whether it's to do with her, like, cool, we'll go out today at 7 p.m. And then suddenly you come and say, every time you say something, yeah, I'm going to buy that for you. Or, oh, yes, we'll do this, I'll do this. Or obviously in your personal life, but you mention it to her. You say, for example, yeah, I'm starting going to gym now 3 days a week. And then she sees you don't do it. And this is with anyone, by the way, not just your wife. This is in any relationship that you have. If you tell people you're going to do something and then you don't do it, your word doesn't mean anything to them. What's even worse, though, in my personal opinion, is your own nafs is going to realize this man's got no spine, as you mentioned. This guy, I can do whatever I want with this guy, you know. And that's why I really, I mentioned this on the road trip vlog, right? We woke up in the morning at Fajr, we were going to climb the mountain. When I first sent the message into the group, no one responded. So I thought, whoa, like, you know, everyone's sleeping, no one's going to be here. But then we went to the masjid, alhamdulillah, after salah, everyone was there, we were about to go up. And I mentioned, make sure you do that, right? And I remember because you overslept, right? Yeah. And because he said the night before that he's going to come and do it, we were halfway up the mountain, he called me. He was like, oh, I overslept, whatnot. Okay, don't worry about it. All right, hung up. We went to the top, did a little thing, came back down. As we're coming back down, I see Abbas coming up on his ones. I was like, that's a man right there. His nafs is shook right now. Because who in their right mind is going to wake up? The whole group's gone like over an hour ago. It's long to even walk up to the start and you have to get started. It's easy when you're with a group, you're chatting and whatnot. I just did it. I said to myself, I'm going to do it. Therefore,
well, I commit to that one.
I'm going to do it. And I can't lie, like I'm saying, but a lot of people don't have that. It's like, I'll say I'm going to do something, I just won't do it. Some of them maybe it's because they got ADHD, I don't know. We have to find out about that one. But some of them it's just, I don't know. It's just...
I have to say that was actually a very impactful moment in my life.
Really?
Wallahi, you actually, and this is the benefit of having good quality friends, right? Not just in terms of their manners, they're nice to you, but people that have good values. Like I think about that regularly. You know, when I think about something,
how often, so instead of asking how often do you think about the Roman Empire, now we'll ask how often do you think about Abbas climbing the mountain? That one over your head?
Okay, no, I get it. No, yeah, because apparently men think about the Roman Empire a lot.
Apparently, yeah.
No, as in, when I'm in a situation where it's like, I can't bother to do this. I'm like, bro, buy a Abbas, go up and climb the mountain.
Oh, really? Oh, very.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it was very, very inspirational for me, like extremely inspirational for me because I was a person where I had a very, very, very poor self-story. Like, you know that point about your own nafs?
Yeah.
Like I realized that whenever the going get tough, I would quit. I would quit.
Across the board or in certain areas?
I didn't really feel like I persevered in a lot of things. I'll give you one example, right? I started going gym with Abu Bakr, right? And then, but I wouldn't go if he wasn't there. Because my thing was...
In Twickenham?
Yeah, it would just keep me going if I had a gym buddy, right? And one day he just didn't come. And the days he wouldn't come, I wouldn't go. But one day I was like, let me just go. So I went to do the bench press. It was the same way I do whenever he's there. But I don't know why, the bar basically fell on me. Like, it didn't fall on me, but I lost control and everything. And panicked. I thought, I'm about to die now. I quickly took the bar off and I said, you know what, the barbell thing, maybe it's not safe to do it alone. So I went to the dumbbells. So I picked up the same dumbbell that I pick up every time when he's there, that I always do. I think I did 1.5 reps and I said, this is long. I put it back and I just left.
How long ago was that?
Also, you know what's throwing me off? There was one tranny looking guy that was there in the weight section. It was throwing me off. I was like, what the hell? I just want to get out of it. But so that also, I don't know, it really put me off for some strange reason. This is a brer. But what's going on? Little purple shirt. Anyway, point being is that, I just put it down, bro. And that was the story of my life in many situations. Like, if things got tough. But
so what changed?
When I realized that every time you quit in something like that, what you tell yourself is that that's the type of person I am.
I'm a quitter.
I'm weak. I'm actually incapable. And that's so unhealthy because, bro, when it gets cracking, bro, you let yourself down. That's peak. Do you get me? And it's like that in the deen as well. Like if you are a person who only does good deeds in public, but when you're alone, you show Allah the worst version of yourself. Like that's who you really are. Like you're actually a vulgar, vile human being. Those are the people that the Prophet ﷺ said all of the deeds will be nullified, even if they done, all these acts of worship like salah and siyam and hajj and all of this. Like, bro, that's who you are. When you're alone, you do the filthiest sins.
The action of the hypocrites.
Yeah. So it's like, but now when I'm on my own, it's like I have to climb the mountain like a bastard. And not just that, I try to always do the hardest things at the beginning of the day.
That's what a lot of bros are saying about that. The fact that, bro, it's 8 a.m. and we've climbed a mountain already. Like, what can I not do on this day?
Mad when you pray like that. It's 8 a.m. and we friggin' climbed a mountain.
That's why for the next one, I'm thinking we're going to go back to that.
Are you going to
that resort. Inshallah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So you said you're gonna come. That means he's committed to it.
He's committed to it.
He said he's gonna come. That means he's coming.
You know what Allah said about the people who break promises? فَبِمَا نَقْضِهِمْ مِيثَاقَهُمْ لَعَنَّاهُمْ وَجَعَلْنَا قُلُوبَهُمْ قَاسِيَةً.
Saad, what are your thoughts generally on what we've discussed so far?
Not so good, I think. Sorry. That's good, mashallah. I mean, the thing is, the topic is quite simple as well. I don't think it requires so much explanation, in my perspective. So it's like what everyone's saying is kind of like.
I think there's something that we've forgotten. There's actually a lot of points in here. So one such point is that if you as a man forget about this, about the way you're perceived, that's it. That's what it was. Is that you have to make your peace with what your actions say about you, not just your actions, but your inaction as well, right? If you choose a certain pathway, you know, like how you said there's a mismatch between what you say and what you do. These kind of things people are not oblivious to that. People are not blind to that. Your wife will pick it up, your parents will pick it up, your friends will pick it up. They all notice about you that this guy is a bit, flaky, unreliable, lazy, these kind of things, That, you definitely can't lose sight of that.
No, absolutely right.
Yeah.
On the next road trip, we do that. I think that should be like we should give a motivational talk at the top, but not let everyone know. And that should be like, brothers, do the hardest things of the day first. Look, you climbed the mountain already.
I mean, chances are they're probably going to watch this podcast.
No, they're going to forget if they do.
But I don't think I'm going to do it in the summer. It was right.
I was thinking
the temperatures in the cars.
June, he said June, right?
He said even then, I don't think maybe.
We'll catch a boat. Let's do the boat thing then.
Boat thing. I was thinking let's go Morocco, climb mountain.
Yeah, or we can go South Africa and shoot and some deer, some animals, go hunting.
We'll see, inshallah.
Inshallah, all right, cool.
The next thing, inshallah, on the list. Do you have anything that comes to mind?
No.
We go back to the list.
Yes, sir. Let's go for as many as we can.
I have an idea. I think, I think that regardless of who you are, this is a good lens to look at other people by, right? Which is, what you said a second ago, which is that if you do good deeds in public, but in private you don't do them, the person in private is who you really are. That's, I think, the best lens to look at people from, which is who they really are. Not who they say they are, not what their ideals are, not what they wish they were. None of these things. Those things, you have to strip them away. You have to sort of peel these layers back and look at somebody for what they really show you.
That's what Umar said, isn't it? You don't truly know who a person is unless you live with them, travel with them, or do business with them, because that's usually when the facade is removed. Because you're living with a person, so the issues of smell and all these other things will come to light. But doing business with a person, is he honest? Is he trustworthy? And you travel with the person, you see how he's under pressure, things going wrong, flight.
That's why the wife is the one that knows you the most, bro, because she lives in your bed.
Yeah,
travels with you.
You understand?
Marriage is a transaction of.
But just to mention though, I do feel like it could be a slippery slope trying to look at other people. The point here is to look at yourself.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. As in, these people will see you for who you really are.
Okay.
Through that lens. Do you understand?
Go on, what's next? Go on. Go on.
But this is an interesting one. What does your wife really think about you when she knows how much you love your kids?
So I'm gonna take this from an interesting way, right? There's many things she might think about you. One of the things that she realized how deep, not love. I think I should rephrase that, but like how attached you are to your kids. I think that's a better way to phrase it. If she knows how deep your attachment is, she knows that that's your weak point. She knows that's your weak point. She might know that he's a good dad or whatever, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that with that, she has come to know that is his weakness.
Okay, so let's follow this through. So what's wrong with that?
In this day and age, and I'm talking in the context of the day and age that we live in, right? So I'm just being a bit pragmatic and being a bit of a realist here. So I'm not talking about this unrestrictedly. I'm not saying that this is unrestrictedly a good thing to do, but I'm talking about it as a part of the world that we live in, right? There's, I think, something like 60% the divorce rate is like 60%, something like that. Last time I checked. Pardon the interruption, but in case you ever wanted to move to Dubai, I've got something very special for you. As you may be aware, myself and Abu Bakr moved to Dubai and Sharjah last year. It was one of the best decisions that we ever made for our deen, our families, and our businesses. Living here is amazing. You've got a masjid in almost every single street, unparalleled safety and security. You've got lessons from mashayikh and different teachers and students of knowledge in English and Arabic, and no income tax. Now, how do you move here? That's a question that you might be asking. Well, it can be tough if you don't know your way around things. Sometimes the companies that help you get visas here, they got hidden fees, long waits, big problems, resulting in visa rejections, a lot of wasted money and time. This is where Ansar Consultants comes into play. They helped us set up everything. No hidden fees, no long waits. They kept it simple and honest. I got my visa in less than a month. And these guys have a 100% track record helping brothers get their visa so far. 100% track record. That's insane. Allahumma barik. Now, if you're thinking of moving to the UAE, I recommend Ansar Consultants. They can even help you invest in properties here with a 100% Sharia compliant contract. So if you want a smooth move like we did, click the link below and check out Ansar Consultants. Now, back to the podcast. So people can double check the figures, but it's very high, right? And especially living in the West, the way that the legal system is built is that it's built to support the woman over the man. A woman literally just has to make an accusation, which is something up in the air. I'm afraid for my kid's safety when they're with their father. And the court will presume you to be guilty until innocent. It's innocent until proven guilty, but in family court, in the context of children, it's guilty until proven innocent. That's the way they approach it. So they will cut off communication. They won't allow you to see your kid. And this is the type of thing that the woman can just keep coming back and making accusations and lengthening out the process. Yes, if you put money down, go to court, are patient and resilient for years, and I'm not exaggerating, for years, you get your rights back in some way. But all of the years that have been lost, that have been missed. But I found brothers who never let their wives know the deep attachment that the kids had to them, had that mindset of, if you're going to go and take the kids, I'm not saying that this is the reality, but you're going to take the kids, take the kids. Take the kids. I don't even want to see the kids, right? I'm not saying that you actually believe that or you say it in that way, but you let her believe that you can go and the kids can go. You let her believe that. Not that is the reality. Then what happens is that she's like, okay, the kids are not even a weapon, so she won't use it. But one of the reasons that the women weaponize the children against their husbands is because they know, look, a woman who has been divorced is a scorned person, okay? And there's a saying that Abbas brought to my attention. I'm not saying like Aqidah-wise a good saying, but I'll mention it just so you can kind of understand the point, which is hell hath no wrath. Hell hath, right?
Yeah.
Has.
No, he's right. Go on.
Hath.
No, it's that one. Yeah,
It's an old school saying.
Is that one of them old English ones?
All right, let me translate it for the ends.
I think
Hell
got mixed up with wrath and
doesn't have any wrath like a scorned woman, right? Like we're not talking about Jahannam here, by the way, yeah?
So let me ask you a question.
But the point here is that woman will use. Just recently, we were with a brother. Wallahi, man, it broke my heart. Wallahi, when he was talking. Wallahi, actually, I'm trying to hold back tears right now. And this has become so common, right, bro? How many? It's like almost every week a brother's in the situation where his ex-wife's taking the kids, and he's like, bro, my wife took the kids.
There are probably some situations where the guy's just a psycho or something, and that's an exception.
Akhi, I'm sure, but I have not yet till today met a guy who's actually a psycho. I'm sure they exist, but these cases where they made out to be psychos, like they're just brothers who are miskin and want to see their kids. There's one.
People are different in the house and outside the house.
Anyway, what are you getting at?
The point that I'm going to make is, I'm saying it's not the case that every single situation,
yeah, of course,
the man's the victim.
And I'm speaking generally,
Okay.
but I'm talking. I believe it's enough. I've seen enough, and there's enough statistics out there to show that it's a problem. The brothers get violated in this case. Men get violated in this bab. Some of these women are devil folk.
Yeah.
But for her, she's scorned, and she just wants to get back at man. Maybe in some weird psychotic way she wants him back, and the only way she knows that she can get his attention is through the kids.
So
just you can't let her know, because there's a chance that she could be divorced, and you could be divorced on your 3rd year, your 4th year, your 10th year.
So when you say you can't let her know, because I don't disagree with you without understanding fully your position, are you saying only in the context of if there's problems and she mentions I'm taking the kids, there you say I don't care about the kids? Or is it that
I'm really scared to give application here, to give examples, because it could be misapplied.
I think what you're saying is that you should take the bullets out the chamber.
Say again?
You're saying you should take the bullets out the chamber. It's the same thing for everything else. She'll go for the house.
So you're saying generally
she'll go for the house too.
Yeah.
She'll go for the car, the Ferrari.
Don't let her know
she's gonna go for that too.
how much the kids mean to you. How do you go about doing that?
Okay, look, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to be put in that situation, because I know that the consequences of someone taking my speech and misapplying it can be disastrous.
Then is it smart to even say it?
No, because I believe it's a very, 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 very important thing. But what I will mention is the kids should never see that. That should never be a thing with the kids. For the kids should always, my dad's there, right? It's just that the wife can't see that this is a weakness. I'll give you an example.
I disagree with you, but I don't think I've even understood.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Like at the time when she used it as a threat, you shouldn't crumble.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's literally the example. I was.
If it's only when it becomes a threat, then you do it.
That's exactly the point I was.
Understand
yeah,
that.
that's the only example.
But not like live your life in a way where.
I know. No, I wasn't saying that. Like I'll give you an example of a time where it happened. Yeah, okay. So let's clarify. I'll give you an example. There was a situation where there was a brother. He and him and his wife. I was doing a counseling session for them, right? So he had some issues with his wife. Okay, she was refusing to be intimate with him.
Okay.
Just refusal, right?
For no reason. Not ill, not.
I think they were married for like 3-4 years, and they did it like once or twice, something like that.
Yeah, 3-4 years.
Yeah, it was peak.
What's the point?
So the brother.
I'm not joking. It's a serious question.
Yeah, it's foolish.
I'm just saying, like, it's even the religion. There's the angle.
Yeah, it's peak.
The one who is married for the sake of his chastity.
Yeah.
Allah's mercy is on him, right?
Yeah, the sister was
the same story.
May Allah have mercy. She's a bit confused. But anyway, so he was like, "Bro, I'm gonna get a second wife. And she was like, she burst out crying and lost it. And she said, "I promise you're never gonna see the kids."
Wait, so they had intimacy twice in the entire relationship?
It was one kid. Yeah, and they conceived that time, yeah.
50%.
Yeah, they actually conceived, yeah. So,
Okay,
yeah, it was, yeah. So point being, it was like, you're not going to see the kid. Bro, the way it was weird. The way it's like she leaned to that.
Yeah,
it's like,
out of it, yeah.
It's like, that's their weapon, bruv. Is the kid.
Obviously, that's
so
an
in that situation, the brother,
response
he was just
in the moment.
The moment she said, no, not the kid. Oh, you let her in.
Yeah.
You let her in, rude boy.
I understand.
Yeah, that's the only example I can give you.
I would, yeah.
There are other advanced techniques
I wouldn't
as
necessarily. Me personally, I don't think I would say like.
Playbook, bro. I was going to the last couple chapters.
I don't think I would say I don't care or anything like that personally.
No, I would never say I don't care.
No, to her.
I wouldn't say that.
If she says I'm taking the kids, you say I don't care.
No, you don't say that.
No, my
I let you keep them, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, my point is you show you don't care.
Yeah,
you show you don't care.
I agree with you in terms of don't beg and do all this stuff. My thing would just be, oh, cool, Yom al-Qiyamah. If that's how you want to behave, just remember, you're taking away my rights. If that's what you want to do,
I wouldn't do that.
Don't do
I'll see you
that.
Yom al-Qiyamah.
She knows. You know what it is? You gave her a little something.
You know,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
That's what we want.
I'm not gonna beef you.
Yeah.
I just be honest with them. Say, look, the Sharia says you keep them. It's
Yeah.
wrong with you.
No, in that situation,
problem.
they'll come to you and
my
they'll say,
thing will be, bro,
they're bugging me.
You will
Please
never
take
hear
them.
from me again. I will do Yaqub alayhi salam. I will إنما أشكو بثي من الحزن إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله.
But Yaqub sent his sons out to go look for Yusuf though.
Bro, I will be doing my thing. Don't worry. But trust me.
What's your thing? What's the
Arrows will come flying your way.
No, what's your thing? What's the technique?
Nothing.
I don't know if this is gonna make it on the
You just
podcast,
have
but
to-
I believe I'm not gonna say it.
No, you just have that certainty that Allah will, whatever is best,
Yeah.
Allah will make it happen.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
And as long as you come correct on your side, you stay away from sins, you do the things that you're supposed to do, your salahs, etc., etc., etc. I think that you can say what you want to me. Look, cool, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna show you. I'm not gonna sit there and begging you. Cry. Like, cool. You wanna play this game? You will earn what your own hands have.
Yeah,
have
there's a
brought you.
there's a brother I know who ended up letting his wife know that the kid is a weak point. So he did something similar. He said, look, he said, take them. I promise you'll take them. But because I will stand up on the last third of every single night asking Allah to rip you to shreds.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make dua.
I'm booking my Umrah ticket. I'm going to the
Yeah.
Mu'tazim.
I wouldn't do that. I would just
I'm
make
saying
dua.
I'm saying
I
he
think
said
that's
this.
good advanced technique.
I'm saying he said that. I'm not saying he did it or he was actually going to do
Okay.
it. But it was a threat. She's threatening with the kid, right? So he said, okay.
For you,
She
tahajjud.
goes, tahajjud, sujood, between the adhan and the iqamah.
Man said,
when
I'll
I'm
clean
fasting.
my
And I think
ibadah.
that's
I'll
essentially
clean
what it all
for
comes down to,
months.
innit, right? Look, I can understand. I'm not saying it's right, but I can understand in the heat of the moment when a woman's emotion overcome her, she blurts something out like that.
Akhi, I cannot understand that.
You can't understand.
No, I cannot
She's
understand
causing
that.
harm to her own
Understand.
child.
Is
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not
Is it
justifying
understandable?
I think it's conniving.
Is it
Do you
understandable in the
understand
heat of the moment for her to say something like,
Do you understand
your dad's
I say something
ex.
kufr. I hate Allah.
Yeah.
I'm saying I understand. Which means mentions
point.
an issue of polygamy. Because even Ustad, I remember what Ustad mentioned. He said, when it comes to the issue of polygamy, when it comes to women, rufi al-qalam, the pen's been
I don't know
lifted.
if I agree. I don't know if I believe
I
that.
can't lie, I agree. And
I don't know if I believe that.
During when?
we wonder if a polygamy situation occurs.
Yeah.
Like a woman, she'll actually.
This we shouldn't mention
lose the
because they'll
plot.
use it as ammunition. They'll be like, oh, my husband got wife. Look, I can be
No, I
crazy,
don't
insane. Oh,
Listen, but it's-
Saad Ibn
it's-
Mansur,
it's-
Rafi
it's-
al-Qalam.
Yeah.
And bro, sometimes they do issues of kufr as well. Yeah. To be honest, yeah, they do. Yeah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir
But it's not because it's just extreme. Look, we know that it's an emotional response, right? That's what the point that I'm making is. I would like to think.
I can't tolerate it. Can't accept it for my brothers, no.
Hey, well, let's move on. What's the next point?
You're the host.
Your point, Zach.
Guys,
Next
just
one.
one thing, make sure your kids never feel that. Like let's just say you say to them, take them like, you know what I'm saying? I really hope you're being responsible and applying what I'm saying in the correct place. I'm not saying don't hug your kids in front of your wife. No, like, don't be toxic, but just
You have to tell her, take them.
Yeah.
Just to let them know that they got half brothers and sisters somewhere else.
well, I love your kids. Well, like that, you have to feel like dad's there, man. Dad's there. Dad's there.
When you live in your dad's house under his control.
Yeah, this is a mad one. So for all of our brothers that want their wives to stay inside of their family home, there's something that you're not realizing, man. Which is that, you know how there can't be two queens in a castle? That's a mushkila, right? That's a mushkila. Like, you've brought your wife to the house where what?
Your mum knows.
Another woman is a queen.
So, but that's an issue for your wife.
Yeah, it's long.
But in terms of your perception, if you've got a dad who's like a dad.
She got her dad is a mom.
No, like a
No,
dad
he's
is a
talking about
dad.
active dad.
Active
Sometimes
dad.
you got a passive
As
dad
in-
who's like,
A father.
Father. Like,
father.
like this is my house. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, you don't sit in his chair kind of dad.
Yeah. Like, this is, you know what I'm saying? And you bring your wife to that house, she sees you being bossed around. She sees you being like, you have to understand,
You're not
right?
the man of the
There's
house.
nothing wrong with that. Like, shout out, there's nothing wrong with
In
you
fact,
being
it's correct.
humble in front of your father and and just whatever. But in this day and age, remember, the brothers, what I'm trying to make you guys understand is that
when you see a podcast about
the
fathers,
modern day progressive era has created circumstances that are mashed. Already, look, when there's a transfer from a woman from wali to wali,
Yeah.
what I mean here is from father to husband.
Yeah.
transfer, and I use that term intentionally. It's a transfer, right? It's a transfer.
Chancellor.
When that transfer takes place, right? Why is it that the woman will not transfer the same dealings with the husband to the father? For example, the respect that she has, not being able to talk back to her dad, not being able to second guess it, like that same respect that the father has.
Because she doesn't see those same qualities that her father had in him.
And not necessarily qualities. That could be a reason, but I also believe it's the paradigm of husband-wife relationships that is, we're friends.
Yeah.
We're equals. So that's one issue, but also it's like, wait, he's not supposed to be like my dad. He's supposed to be my dog. I can't just marry my dog. You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality these men have. So my point is
That is the most Punjabi thing I've heard in weeks. Get out of here.
So my point is, it doesn't help. It doesn't help to build that. This is my man, right? My guardian. When every second she sees you saying, when dad's saying, son, come here. Yeah, yes, dad. Which is true, and you should. But for her to every day see you submitting to another man, for her it's like, that's the man. My husband's not the man. Do you understand? That's not the man. So I'm not saying this is the case every time, but
That's one reason why it's important to get your own separate
your own
accommodations
yard.
after marriage.
Because number one, she is getting into it with your mum and your sisters, which is normal. I saw a sheikh give a khutbah and he said,
Would you argue
brothers,
that it may even be better? Because some people say, look, I can't afford, but I want to get married, and she wants to get married. Live separately until you're able to get your own place.
Look, I don't want to give those, like, it could be that she lives in the house. It could be that, for example, your father doesn't have that characteristic. Like, that's why I said particular type of dad, right? Like, if your dad is more of a, do your own thing, laid back, right? It's a different story. But when she can see, like, there is a clear power dynamic, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, you're the son, like that's your
correct.
dad.
That's what you're supposed to do, yeah.
But when she can, it's like in this day and age, she already doesn't see you
See
as
why? It's because she thinks that you're not in control, and you have
Right,
to be in control. She has to look at you as the guy who's in control.
right.
Like everyone else in her family. Like, for example, if you're hitting it,
Yeah.
what will happen is, no, if you're hitting that mark, that husband mark. Stop. That one's getting cut out.
No, it's
getting cut out.
It's not getting cut. Keep it natural.
So what I'm saying is, if you're hitting the mark, the husband mark, typically what will happen is that even in her own life, she will defer those people back to you. So if she's got a brother
it's true.
even her sister's
true.
husband, her mom, her auntie, whoever it is, if they need help, she's gonna funnel those people your way. And to be honest, you should welcome it.
Yeah.
And that will increase your respect and your status. And
because you're the guy, innit? You're the
if
man.
your in-laws are coming to you for help and advice,
Someone needs help 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, and they somehow got through to her. She's not gonna say, "Oh yeah, hold on, let's call this person." She's gonna say, "My husband will take care of it." That's what she's gonna do.
It's true. Wallah. Well, a woman has to feel like my husband's he's got things patterned. Wallah.
Yeah.
So before we conclude, I think instead of going to another one, how does a brother who's maybe not got experience with this kind of stuff and obviously never been married before, so he's getting to, how does he prepare for this kind of stuff? How does he?
Wallahi, man, you just need people like me around you. Like, I don't mean that with arrogance. Like,
like me, what do you mean?
Like, just,
Brothers have experience in marriage.
guys, his first name is Imran, last name is. I'm joking. Yeah. Stuff. I was trying to be funny and comical there. Stuff. Well, I'm not being self-conceited here. No, I mean older.
But the answer is true.
Yeah, older brothers who've got experience. So look, definitely don't go to the single guy. Well, like there was one brother who's like student of knowledge, this, that, single, bro. Like 2 of them actually. Single, giving the maddest marriage advice. Well, one miskin brother who's actually married would be coming back to me saying, "Sons," I said, well, tell this brother barakallah feet, man. Like, get married first, bro. Like,
if you don't have experience with something,
taste
you're
the
gonna make
nectar, then come back and
mistakes.
talk to us, bro. Do you understand? So that's one. Second issue is brothers who've got.
Like Ibn Hajar, right? Ibn Hazm, sorry.
Yeah.
On the issue of Hajj, and he had never been Hajj before, and they found like over 40 mistakes.
Over 100 mistakes. So another mushkila is taking advice from a brother who he's got experience in his marriage.
How is he meant to have experiences?
You
mean like
he's got time in it.
No.
He's got kids.
There's a particular brother I know, right? Who, for him, his worldview is like the worldview, right? Like the way he for him, it's like, here's what I do with my wife, and it worked or it didn't. And he'll start telling everyone. And it's like, bro, not everyone's situation and circumstances like that.
Not everybody has a marriage.
Do you understand? Yeah. So the good thing here is, like, alhamdulillah, look, brother Umar, brother Abid, right? These young brothers are honest. Wallahi, They actually come several times when they're on their marriage journey. Wallahi, barakallah feek, you brothers like saved us a mad thing. Do you understand? Just because when you've got the people that have that real life
shura,
experience
get
and
advice.
wisdom around, yeah. I was gonna do a course on this, but you know what it is? I make more money off the business courses.
So this is just free game.
So we're making podcasts on the topic.
Free game. Yeah.
One
Actually, it's
second.
free game. You know we've given so much free game.
Yeah, I'm
Honestly.
not- yeah.
You know one brother, he messaged me. He was like, "Why is everything paid?" I was like, "Bro, have you not seen the over 100 episodes that we've done that are just full of free game? You're being serious."
And that's one of the reasons we're doing episodes like this is for that purpose. Like watch Child My Bye, bro.
Yeah, bro.
How much? How much time do we have left?
We started at like 40 past something.
5 minutes.
Should we get one more in?
One more. Perfect. We'll do one last one. I'll let you choose one, bro.
No, let's okay, one sec.
Let's see
Choose
Saad.
one that Saad would answer and only him.
Sure.
Even though my ADHD will be kicking up and I'd want an interruption.
Can I get my wallet?
Sorry, sir.
It's just one outrageous one.
Yeah, give him the outrageous one.
No, I'll do it. I can't.
What was the outrageous one again?
Mention it off the camera.
This is insane. Okay, how about this? What does your wife really think about you when you put her before your mum? Like that.
What does your wife think of you if you put your
wife before your mum.
put your wife before your mum?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been.
She thinks you're her kutta.
Yeah.
She thinks you're her
It's funny
lap
'cause
dog.
she'll make it out as if, yeah, that's what I want. Like, I have to be number one. This, that, what, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't. What the worst thing you can do is put yourself in competition with a man's mother in any capacity.
Yeah.
In any metric. Don't do it. I promise you, it's not going to end well. Even if, and it depends on the approach you take, right? Even if there was something that was wrong on that end, if you come at it in a confrontational manner, I promise you, the man will shut you down. He'll become defensive, and in this day and age, people try and make that negative.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a mummy's boy.
I'm what? I'm mummy's boy. I'm what? I'll smoke anyone that gets in the way with my mum. But you get smoked for that, bruv.
Yeah. I think it's important to say that.
I
She deserves at least that
don't mean
much.
physically attack your wife, by the way. I don't mean, what I mean is just the concept of
This has
metaphorically.
been a very loose podcast.
For real. For real.
But the point is yeah, as in, even if she'll say that she wants you to do certain things or to show proof to her that she's the number, I'm telling you, it's not going to end well. Like, there has to be a system in place, man. There has to be the same way, as you said, I don't want my husband to lead me. I don't want to submit to my husband. We're equals and this and that one. Or they say that, but the reality is very different. When she sees you in equal, suddenly the attraction's gone. She's looking at someone else is higher up, doing better. And hypergamy is a very real thing. Likewise with your mother, you can never, ever, ever, ever let anyone, let alone your wife, but anyone, but your wife specifically in this context, violate your mum.
Yeah.
And I've seen brothers who've let it happen. I've seen brothers who even to some degree violated their mums because this at the behest of their wife, and they end up getting violated themselves after. Because it's like you've now become a tool. You're a tool. She just violate you. So
You want to add to it since you've understood the question now?
I mean, you said it now, innit? Actually, you can't let your wife do that. I mean, you can't do that, yeah.
actually, once again, if you got ADHD, what do you have? You got the honest. You got DHDA.
Like, you know, the honest truth is,
Yeah.
I agreed to the podcast at 4 a.m. Not knowing
topic.
what the topic
You
was
made a
really about,
commitment.
right?
At least you followed through though.
Yeah, I came
Follow through with the commitment.
To be honest, I
But
actually came to you guys.
It's a half measure though. You've turned up absent-minded.
No, I just came to you guys. That was it.
Oh really?
Yeah. I mean, I do the same.
He
thing
adds
anyway.
flavour to it though. Those little quirky characters, it adds a bit of flavour. By the way, guys, look,
Should plan, prepare.
I just want to address
I
a few
agree.
things in the comments. So one common thing that comes up is that we interrupt each other, right? And I know it's so bad. But recently, me and Abu Bakr, we've self-diagnosed ourselves. We have ADHD. And one of the symptoms of ADHD is we have to finish other people's sentences. We interrupt, and it's not because we're bad people. Genuinely, I saw a doctor talking about it on YouTube. It's not because I'm a bad person. It's just it's in me, and I just want to bring it out. But I'm trying. I've been trying. I've read all the comments. I've seen it for years. Right. As for Saad, why? Just give a little disclaimer. They want to know why I don't talk much.
Why I don't talk much?
Be vulnerable.
Because I'm scared. No.
Because in the back of your mind, you're thinking the internet's forever. Is that why?
No. I just.
Why you on the internet?
I'm not. For example,
The internet's forever.
in our
innit?
car,
It's like,
in our
once you
car
said it, it's
journey
done.
today,
Yeah.
how much did I speak and how much did you speak?
Maybe I spoke a little bit more.
I'm just. This is how I'm in it. I talk less.
Why?
Talk less. With this podcast specifically, if you look at the older podcast, there was more talking from my end because there was more notice.
What does one's wife think of them if they are quiet?
If they're quiet, are they confused? Then what's in your head?
That's sick. Wallah barakallah fi. Advanced
inshallah.
techniques.
One time Saad said it to me as
That's
well.
proper advanced technique.
Yeah, wallah.
We'll leave it there, inshallah. This was an interesting podcast. I don't know if it'll get released.
Hey, what did
Maybe
Saad
it
say
will.
to him? I
No,
want to
definitely
know
read
because
it.
we're cutting Saad off, bro. What
I
did
didn't
he
feel
say?
like
Sad.
ADHD, bro.
No, just one time he came up to me, he goes, "What's in your head?" I was like, "Why'd you ask?" He said, "Because you don't talk."
Subhanallah.
I said, "Many things."
wait, is that like a polite violation?
Huh? Polite?
No, it's like what's your manhaj? That was his point.
No, his
Are
point
you
was like,
with us?
as in like, I don't know you that well.
He was like,
I'm
"What
trying
you
to
want?"
figure you out.
Khair,
This
inshallah.
was a million years
That's
ago
like-
before you guys.
So this was like within
Yeah.
the first year of us.
We'll conclude it there. Apologies for
Now he
the
knows me too well.
podcast. Inshallah, the next one will be better. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.